Hello, I'm Brian Mallard.
And I'm Stacey McCarty.
Welcome to another edition of Day Trip, where we take you to find the coolest things that you may not actually know about. Once known by many, a lot of these things have been lost to time, or almost.
Today we're in Clayton, Alabama.
So, got a day off or a weekend? Maybe you should consider taking a day trip. Welcome to Clayton, home of former Governor George Wallace, who was born outside of Clayton and started his legal and political career here. Clayton is the county seat of Barber County and has been since 1834, with a rich history of the town down to its numerous churches.
Established 1873.
Stacey and I like to jump into her black Mustang and ride the wind to places we have never been before, finding old things lost to time, checking things out, filming it, and bringing it to you.
Awesome. Oh, there's the Dime Store restaurant.
Situated roughly 20 miles from Eufaula, Clayton is a small town of classic American design centered around a town square. Rich history is evident as soon as you pull up, as the center of town is marked with a historical obelisk. Pulling in and looking around, there were numerous old buildings, some repurposed and modern uses, some not so much.
Octagon House. Nice.
Should I park here?
Upon parking, we thought we'd get out and walk around, maybe do a little shooting, check things out, maybe do a few stand-ups. We have an interview at the Octagon House at 10:30. It's about an hour away, shooting some ambient footage, checking out some of the shops. Looking through the windows of some of these old buildings, you can kind of see how they used to look in the old days. Old walls, the superstructure of the building. You can almost envision the people of those days walking back and forth on their day-to-day business. And there are other things of a smaller nature.
It's got like a key in it.
That's a doorbell.
Is it? That noise that it's making would call you to the door? I guess it would. Please stop.
Well, 100 years ago when it worked, it would actually make a ringing sound
like
inside.
a break a real bell. That is cool.
Walking along shooting things, and there's some really nice stuff around here. There's a lot of really old architecture, very classic architecture, both in the buildings and the houses and churches. Some very nice stuff which we've shot. Waiting for how long it'll take the cops to tell us to move along. The courthouse is very, very modern from the 60s in comparison with the rest of the town. That's very modern. Apparently there's an old jail beside it, which is overshadowed by it. It's an old brick building with bars in the windows, and the courthouse appears to be the newest thing in town. The rest of the town is very quaint, and so far everyone has been very friendly here. Then I caught a glimpse of a small town American icon driving through town. I knew it would really catch Stacey's eye.
Watermelons are delicious, especially if they are from the farm on a watermelon truck. You really can't go wrong. So here's the Barber County Courthouse. This is obviously the courthouse for all of Barber County. And people come from all over to take care of their legal needs. In addition to the courthouse, there are several law offices housed in these adorable historic homes and storefronts. There's also an insurance agent and a tax service. Just basically you can come here and take care of all those types of needs.
One thing can be said for Clayton. It's a very pretty town.
It's beautiful.
A lovely place to walk around and enjoy the day. Very well maintained. There are potted plants on the street corners.
Flowers.
And I didn't see any trash in the streets. We got a good shot of this old building repurposed into an antique store. The town square, whiling away the day beneath the bright southern sky, was bustling. Barber County Commissioner's historic sign had to get a shot of that. Then there's the courthouse, modern in contrast to the rest of this old southern town, with its big glass front entrance, brick stairs, and black marble cornerstones. And I really like this old jail, standing rustic next to this more modern courthouse, with its rusted metal staircases, both sides. And here, another historical obelisk. And a shot of the other staircase, rusted metal as well, going up the side of the old jail. Neat. A little farther on, there's a little strip of stores, all abandoned, just waiting for some entrepreneur to come and set up shop and repurpose them into a modern business. And this old house, lovely in its architecture. Then we came across this, a mural on the side of one of the buildings, appearing to be faded from years and weather. It is not. It is actually in progress, we found out later. Larger-than-life depictions of life in Clayton, a tribute to the governors of Barber County. Listed among them, Shorter. Might remember him from the Eufaula Day trip. Then we came across a building that definitely deserved a little further investigation.
With stained glass.
Is that a Mason symbol?
I don't know. Stained glass windows.
Faith, hope, and charity. 3 biblical principles.
Oh, it's a Mason's Lodge. There's a Mason symbol.
This Mason's Lodge was converted into a lawyer's office.
It was a law office. If you need assistance, please call the attorney. No, it looks like it's still an office. Oh, it's got great wood.
The old floors apparently original to the building. And around a few street corners, the most bustling part of town, I couldn't tell whether this was once a building or if it was always open, but they really had a good idea. A nice little seating area shaded from the sun. Stacey knew what to do with it. So we continued walking and exploring, checking things out. Across the street, the Dime Store Cafe. And Stacey had her priorities.
We stopped at the Dime Store Cafe and I got a delicious cup of joe.